4, 3, 2, 1, and he screamed, "Hey, you cleared!" And I was like, how is that possible? I was dreaming a certain kind of life. I am living the exact same dream now. Till 8th standard, I never seen green or blue ink in my report card. I was always having red marks. I was never in the class. I used to bunk classes. As I said, I am notorious. There's a lot of pressure in your mind. What am I going to do after this?
Mr. Punit Kumar, who has achieved global level, I think.
Globally third and India first. It was really a heartbreaking moment for him. But just because this girl was so beautiful, so I was trying to listen to her. I was just trying to spend some time with her. I made my mind that I want to do this course. I just took around 2 lakh rupees from my dad. 3 years sustaining without profit, mixed mind, a lot of confusion that should I quit? Should I shut down? Should I join somewhere in a corporate? And I was
that was one of the most haunting things I could ever hear after doing all this.
I was excitedly opening that post, and then you won't believe. And I told the invigilator that I want to quit, I want to go out. Is going to be my last attempt. If I'm not getting success in this, I will do whatever you say.
So for every course you quit within 6 months or
2-3 months, not more than that.
Okay. There are so many parents who would have totally traumatized their kid if this would have happened.
I was restless. I felt like I will not be able to clear this paper.
The whatever questions you selected randomly were right.
Right.
Oh.
They were all right.
I'm genuinely shocked here.
They requested me to give an interview. That is the time thousands of people were calling my parents asking, what course did he do?
I think this is the podcast which I laugh so much because
students' problem is
we are sharing insights from real life experiences, not sharing a book here. So today we are with the co-founder and CEO of SOE Global, one of the top rated institutions for ACCA in Chennai. And he himself is a global rank holder in ACCA, and he is one of the youngest. I think more of a resonation with a youngster like me. I have had very, very beautiful conversations with him. He has started his business at the age of 21, has seen exponential growth in the last 6 years, has grown to, I think we can call him one of the high net worth individuals in Chennai who is doing well enough. I mean, I can coin him as a person who is just 27 years old, but having a 35-year-old experience in the field. So we can have a lot of we are about to have a very nice conversation ahead, and we are going to talk about how he had this big leap of growth from in the last 6 years, and how he has grown his ACCA Institute, and how he has turned from a very studious, very enthusiastic student from a very successful entrepreneur. And it's a wonderful journey, and I take much privilege as he has given his interviews on Sun TV, top televisions across Tamil Nadu, and today we are having such kind of a guest in our podcast, and I think that's a total privilege, sir, to have you.
Thank you.
So yeah, first and foremost, I would like to go with a liner. I mean, people around you, and I personally have experienced the thing like you're just 27, and you're giving me a vibe of how a 35-year-old person can give me a lot of lessons and experiences, and your take on spirituality, your take on how things are working around us, your take on how entrepreneurship works, your take on so many things is so fascinating. So let me hear it from you. So how's life been the last 6 years?
Well, it's been an amazing journey. Especially my spirituality and the career. Though when I took over this institute, SOE Global, in the year 2019, that is the time I started spirituality as well. So it's been an amazing journey. Spirituality hand in hand with the career gave me a lot of life lessons, and so I'm liking this journey. And to be very honest, when I was really young, when I was in school, and when I was pursuing my degrees and all this thing, I had certain sort of expectations, or I would put it in this way, that I was dreaming a certain kind of life which I wanted to live. And to be very honest, I am living the exact same dream now.
That sounds so inspiring, because for any youngster who's starting out at my age, or because I started when I was 18, and and it has been a good journey. It has been ups and downs were there, but hearing from a person like you gives a lot of hope for a lot of people, because when I tell my story and I said I grow from 0 to 7 figures in the last 2 years, people think like, okay, let's see how stable it is. And I see another entrepreneur who's like twice my age, and who's giving me another assurance that it's going to be stable, because there is a very high myth that entrepreneurship is not something very stable for a very long period of time, because profits are not salaries, and salaries don't resonate with profits is the only concern our society is trying to have. Coming to talk about society, when we had a conversation, you spoke to me about how societal pressure acts and turns things around in our life, and you personally said that how you quit your CA, BCom, and I couldn't never imagine that happening in my own life, because I'm pursuing a degree now and doing my entrepreneurship. My father would throw me out of the house if I dropped out of my college and started doing some other degree as of my wish. So what do you actually think about this whole idea of having an interest in something and moving on to the next and next and next, and sometimes it happens only because the society pressures us to do these things at that particular moment. So what do you think about it? Tell me your perspective, your story on this.
Well, so it's an interesting part of my life, which I'm sure not many knows. So the thing is, like, as I said just few minutes back, that I was a boy who had a lot of dreams. That this is how my life should be. This is how I want to lead my life. This is how my day-to-day things should be. This is how I should not be like dependent on anyone. I should be the boss of my own world. So those fantasies were always there in my mind, but I had no clarity about what profession should I choose. Okay, what profession should I choose? Whether I should do a degree, whether I should do a professional course. I mean, I was not really that sure. Why I was not so sure is because when I was in school, as a student, I was not so studious. I was very notorious kid. In fact, my school remembers me only with this tag, that he is the most notorious kid in the school.
Okay, I think I came up with the wrong context of introducing you as a studious student, but you are a notorious.
Yes, notorious, because till 8th standard I never seen green or blue ink in my report card. I was always having red marks. So that is how the journey.
This sounds so astonishing. From having red all over the report card to being the what is that? I think I have seen that news in Tandi TV where people because I'm a commerce student anyway. I wanted to do CA, and then I shifted. Okay, CA stuff. Let's go for ACCA. So I convinced my father I'm going to do ACCA. At that time, when I saw your news, it came like Mr. Punit Kumar, who has achieved global level. I think
globally third and India first.
Globally third and India first. And for the viewers watching this, he's one of the benchmark setters for ACCA students in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai and across South India. So yeah, you can continue. I was just overwhelmed with the thought of how this person came from here to there on the.
So yes, actually it is all because it started from a right mentor.
Okay.
The person who picked me when I was in school, when I was so notorious, he was the one who nurtured me. He is the one who showed confidence in me when the entire school was not showing confidence. Okay. So that is how actually this story began. And the thing is, like, taking it forward, I will not speak because there is so much to speak on this. So I'll just speak ahead. Now I'll just talk about the 4 forward things. So now coming back to this scenario, that 12th was done, and like every student, there is a lot of ideas going in our mind. There's a lot of pressure in your mind. What am I going to do after this? Till 12th, nobody takes much pressure. Nobody really thinks about what am I going to do after 12th. Okay. You are in a motion, you are in a flow, so you enjoy your life, or you are also busy with your board exams. So it just goes off. But after 12th, what am I supposed to do?
Reality hits.
Yes. And you see your friends they started pursuing some other professional courses. Some of them have joined some designing. Some of them have joined chartered accountancy course. So you see people around you who were always with you have now started pursuing a career. And here you are sitting in a couch at home sipping tea and coffee, not knowing anything. What am I going to do in my life? So yes, what happened is ki my dad. So he emphasized on ki how this society looks at chartered accountant. At that time in 2015, there was a great emphasis on if you are a commerce student, you should become a chartered accountant. Unlike today, where we have so much of career options, even in social media, in
Still
YouTube.
today we have that perspective.
Okay.
If you're a commerce student, please do CA. That is the only life
Yes,
option.
that is the one taboo which every
yeah.
parent has.
Until I completed my 12th, we were having that.
Correct. So even the same thing happened with me. My parents were insisting me to do CA, and the entire society was insisting. My friends started pursuing CA, and I thought I will be left alone in the journey. So I just joined CA. So I joined in Shankara Coaching Center, pursuing CA. At that time, this institute was really amazing. They had a lot of students being in. So what happened is it was a 2 months, 3 months journey of CA foundation where I could not able to resonate with anything. Where I was not at all clear. I felt from the day one that I don't belong to this place. Somehow with the fear of my parents, because they paid a huge FT amount, so I cannot really go and say within a day that I'm not going to do this. I just continued the journey of 1-2 months. Then at some point of time, I developed the courage to tell them that I'm not going to do this. And they were all shocked. They were in assumption that I'm going to become a CA in next 2 years down the line. And they have reported or they have shared this thing with all their family, friends, relatives.
I think this is always a traumatic story for any student. I also experienced the same. My father and my family went and spoke to everybody that I'm going to become a CA, and everybody has this expectation.
Correct.
How did you handle that?
So I really didn't bother much about the relatives or something like that.
That's great.
So I was very much clear ki, okay, this is not made for me, so I'm not going to do this. Then what happened is, okay, initially it took some time for my dad to digest this part. But then later on, he started emphasizing on becoming an IAS officer. He said how if you become an IAS, 100 people will salute you and a lot of respects. These CM, PM, they will always be like, they will not take you lightly. You are an IAS officer, highly respected in India. So he created such hype. Earlier, I was not knowing much about IAS, but then after hearing from him, and I thought, okay, let me give a try. So then I agreed. I visited one of the IAS coaching center here in Chennai, and somehow again, due to my parent, or I'll say due to my father influence, I joined that course. I joined for this course of IAS, and when I sat for the first day in the class, and when the teacher all of the sudden spoke about geography, history. Now, these are the subjects which I never liked personally when I was in school. To be very honest, during histories and geography periods, I was never in the class. I used to bunk classes. As I said, I'm notorious. So I used to bunk classes during these stuff. And it was really very challenging for me to stick with geographies and all these things. I'm not good at that. And very first day in IAS training, the teacher started speaking about geography and history, and that really shook me. I felt, oh God, what have I done? I didn't do any research. I was just going in a flow with what society is expecting, what society is respecting, what the parent is saying, what my father wants me to become. So I was just going in a flow. And the worst part was, there was so much of noise outside that I really couldn't hear the inner calling of mine. That was the problem. So I joined IAS, and after a few days I realized this is not a cup of tea for me. So then again I developed some courage to tell my parent, to tell my dad that sorry, I won't be able to do this.
This time where there's didn't you face any consequences because it's the second time?
So yes, in that case I'm quite fortunate enough that my parents, let's say my father, he was quite a well understanding person, and though he was completely heartbroken when I said I'm not going to continue, he had a lot of hopes. He started really searching in YouTube, searching different things, hearing from many people, trying to grasp and as many information as possible so that he can help me that do this or do that. This is what it is important to become an IAS officer. So he started working on its own. And when I said him that, sorry, I cannot continue. So it was really a heartbreaking moment for him. But he really he didn't become hard to me. He was like, okay.
I think now I consider your father a hero because there are so many parents who would have totally traumatized their kid if this would have happened. I get it. So okay, I won't interrupt the story. So after IAS, what happened?
So after IAS, what happened is like, okay, I have decided that this is not a cup of tea for me. And then I was not clear with what should I do in my life, what course or what profession should I choose, whether to go with this way or that way. I had no clarity, but one thing was very clear. That was my goal. Goal was very clear that I want to be an independent person. I want to live a life in my own ways. I don't want to be accountable either to a boss or to my parents. I want to spend. I don't want to show to the world that this is my spending, this is my income. I never believed in that.
You didn't want to be a person who is always accountable or not accountable, a person who is always been in the radar of needing to have get permission for everything.
Yes, right? I was completely dead against that. And that is what my dad has also been insisting me from the small age, that you become so big that you are independent in your life. Nobody says you or nobody basically questions you. You just lead your life. You just live your life in your own terms. I think
this is the instinct that any entrepreneur is having a motivation towards. I mean, every entrepreneur has its own motivation, but I see this as a common factor.
Yes.
Being communicating with so many entrepreneurs in the recent times, I see this as a common factor for every entrepreneur, that one of the major reasons, if they take like 5 reasons for why they started, we take this as one of the important reasons, because the money factor, whether we are from a rich household, poor household, whatever household we are, if the parents are good enough to make us understand how important is money, at that time we tend to understand the whole idea of we should not be borrowing money every single time from our parents, and it's a shame which instincts us and which just makes us think that this is not a cup of tea. This is not our cup of tea for depending on our parents for every single penny. Even a 10 rupees tea, when we need to go and have a tea for 10 rupees, we have to borrow money from a mother or father. So I think that point and the money totally brings in other concept of, or every place, from going for a trip, for going for a educational tour, for going for for seeing some museum, studying something, taking up a new course, for everything we have to get permission because they are the one who is paying this. Yes. So I think that instinct is one of the biggest motivation for every single entrepreneur.
Actually, I'm coming from a society, a typical Marwadi family, a joint family, where you do anything, you have to take permission. Whether you spend anything, first you have to ask money for it. And you had very limited control over things. You are always just dependent. So this happens generally. And I was not really okay with it.
Do you see this in a positive angle or a negative angle?
See, having support from your family, having support from your elders is good. In terms of they have seen a lot of they have experienced a lot. So definitely those experiences count. Those experiences really help you, but there should be a limit to interference. If you live in a family where interference is 100%, then you don't really grow. That is why you see many people saying this, that when you come out of your comfort zone, that is the time you're going to learn. When you come out of your comfort zone, that's the important key point here. See, as long as you are at home, your parents are pampering you, you are not at all facing this world.
Yeah, I totally go with this statement because what I personally have felt this. So thank God you brought this up because the point when I moved out of staying under my father's and mother's shadow, that I have to take permissions to do this and that, and I have to depend on them to go here and there. The moment I mean it takes some money privilege to do that because I am from a very middle class background, so I didn't depend a single penny on my father for starting business and everything. So once I moved out from that money dependency, when I became financially independent to support my own things, that is the moment where I understood that the growth actually happened. So let's say from the for the past 2 years, the 1.5 years, like for the first 1 year I was small time dependent on my father, so I have to take his permission for few things. But after the 1 year, when money is not the problem, is not in the picture, and that is the point when I saw exponential growth. So that is where I resonate with you in a very very higher scale, because the whole idea here is when we start believing that we are dependent on few people, or we are dependent on our parents or any person. So that is the point when we put restrictions and barriers.
Our mind take us to a back seat.
Yeah.
Thinking that yes, already there are people who is driving the car. Why should I really anxious about the journey?
I get it.
Anyways, the driver is going to take us, so I am just going to be relaxed sitting at the back seat. But when you start driving, that is the time you are going to learn. Okay, I have to look right, left. I have to look at the mirrors. So you will be anxious about your journey.
Okay.
So unless and until you don't experience it, you are not going to become an entrepreneur, or you cannot really become a great entrepreneur.
I get it.
So that is something which is very important.
Something to be noted. So viewers watching this is a noteworthy podcast where you can note down a lot of things, and we are sharing insights from real life experiences, not sharing a book here.
Yes.
So and after your CA, you quit CA, you quit IAS, and finally I think you also took up BCom. You did a college degree.
So yes, I did. I did enrolled for BCom in DG Vaishnav College.
Okay.
So there, although being a 93%, although secured 93% in 12th, still happened to struggle for my seat in the college, and somehow when I got the seat in the BCom after a hard struggle. And within 6 months, I realized that this is not the place for me.
Okay. So it has
something, I mean, the destiny was actually calling me somewhere else.
Okay.
To be very honest. There is a very beautiful story even behind this.
Okay.
So when I was doing CA, I said, right, it was a period of 3-4 months in the Shankara Coaching Center.
So for every course you quit within 6 months, or
2-3 months, not more than that.
Okay.
So when I was pursuing CA Foundation, it was a 2-3 months of journey.
I want to ask a small question here. So when you started, you just the society and your father, everybody gave a hype to it, and out of the societal pressure, you joined it, whether knowing you like it or not. And immediately when you recognize it, you were not ready to learn even a single moment after that. You decided, it is not my cup of tea, and you immediately left.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds.
Yes. Many people don't take this step at all.
Yeah, because many are afraid that parents have paid the fees and stuff. Yes. Of course, it is a matter that in some households it's not possible. As you said, you were fortunate enough that your father and mother were so friendly to accept these.
Although my parents are not from a rich class of society, we are also from a very middle class family where it is not that easy. But he was very much particular that for your career, whatever is required, he is ready to go to any extent.
Lovely.
Whether if it is required to borrow money from someone, he was okay with it. But he never wanted me to be like him.
Okay.
Because he struggled whole his life. Okay. So he never wanted that same thing happens or same thing continues even in my journey. He also wanted to see me as a rising star. He also wanted to see me as a well-settled person, a very respected in society. So he also had certain expectations.
Sounds amazing.
Yes.
And after, so you can tell me the story on BCom.
Yeah. So what happened is in CA, when I was pursuing CA Foundation, there was a time where one day few gentlemen, they came to our institute and they gave a seminar on ACCA. And as I said, I was notorious. I was not really into it. I really didn't care what he was speaking in that seminar. People were really showing a lot of interest about ACCA. I didn't knew anything about it, and I was not really bothered to even hear him. What was he talking about? I just left it. I was in a different zone. And then what happened? Ki, when it comes to the college, now getting admission in a college for BCom, as I said, I was not getting seat in the DG Vaishnav college initially. So I was also trying different colleges. So I visited Bangalore, Jain University.
Okay.
And there also, there is a process before admissions. There is a small interview with the college representatives.
Okay.
So there, I don't remember her name. A girl, she was having a look at my mark sheets and all this thing, and she was little surprised. I asked her what is the problem. So she said, "Ki you have scored such a good marks in your 12th standard. You have just applied for a BCom. Why don't you do some professional course along with it?"
Okay.
And I was like, "What are you talking about? I am not so clear." So she said, "Why don't you do BCom with ACCA?" Now this is the second time which ACCA came in my life, and I said, like, deep inside I knew that yes, there is some course called ACCA, which in Shankara Coaching Center also the people came and they were talking about it.
Okay.
I was not really interested to hear anything about ACCA.
Okay.
But just because this girl was so beautiful, so
Because
I was trying to listen to her. I was just trying to spend some time with her,
Okay.
listening about, okay, you speak and I'm just going to sit with you. And she spoke about what is ACCA, this, that, and nothing went to my mind.
Okay.
I was like, okay. So I just left it.
Okay.
Then I came back. Somehow I didn't join that college. Somehow I didn't do that course.
Okay.
So I have separate reasons for it why I didn't do. And then I came back to DG Vaishnav College. I said I continued there for just 6 months.
Okay.
In this 6 month, to be very honest, my attendance was 99%. Just 1% short.
Okay.
I was very, very much regular to the college. And I think in the first semester, I scored around 83% in my first semester. So I was good. I was decent in my place. That 1% also has a story. That day, somehow, I had some functions at home, so I couldn't turn up to the college.
Okay.
And next day, when I went to the college, I was surprised that all my friends or the batchmates were talking about ACCA.
Okay.
And I was like, what is it? Why are you guys talking about this? They said, yesterday, actually you didn't come, but yesterday there was a seminar on ACCA in our college.
Okay.
And they started speaking about it. There, I initially developed some sort of attraction for this course.
Okay.
And what is this course? I'm always hearing about it. So I should just look at it. I did some Googling work, tried to understand certain information from ACCA, but then I left. I really didn't took it much seriously.
Okay.
I didn't took it much seriously. Then what happened in near future is one fine day, my mom called me. I was in my room and doing some stuff in the social media. My mom called me saying that, Punit, there is some post in your name. Now, this is that time where not Amazons and Flipkarts were not so frequent. People nowadays we purchase Amazon so frequently. At that time, it was just new. Although Amazon was there, but I won't purchase anything from Amazon. Anything I need, I have to go physically to a store and purchase things. So I'm coming from an old school boy. So who purchase things by going at the shop. So when I got to know, or when I heard from my mom saying that there is a post in your name, I was really excited. What is there in that? In my name, some posts have come, and that is for the first time. I was excitedly opening that post, and then you won't believe, I found this ACCA brochure in that.
Okay.
And I don't know what happened at that moment. I was so much into that brochure. I was reading each and every part of that, and I made my mind that I want to do this course.
Okay.
But I didn't have courage to speak to my dad because I already left IAS, I already left CA. Now coming to this new course, I know what was his reaction, what will be his reaction. But then...
Did you quit BCom or you continued?
No, I was still in BCom at that time.
Okay.
So then I asked my mom, see, this is the course I want to do, and I don't know how to approach dad, how to face him. He will surely be very angry on me because I didn't do this, I didn't do that. I'm just quitting. I'm paying money and doing nothing in that. So my mom, okay, she, out of motherly love, she said, okay, I will speak on behalf of you. So me and my mom both went to dad, and my mom said that this child wants to do this course, let him do. He has a lot of interest in this. He has done a lot of research and hard work in this, although I didn't do much. But so mom somehow, she took favor. And my dad asked me just one thing. Beta, it's not about doing a course. It's all about completing it. I'm ready to pay whatever you say. You say I have to pay you some 20,000 or let's say 2 lakh or 5 lakh. I have to pay. I will arrange. I'll work hard day and night, and I'll try to arrange it for you. But just paying is not the job done. You really need to work hard for it. If you quit after every single thing, then there is no point.
There's
Quitting
no consistency.
Yes, there is no consistency. If you take up a step, don't quit. Don't think of quitting it. Better try to go ahead. Then I said him that this is going to be my last attempt.
Okay.
If I am not succeeding in it, if I'm not getting success in this, I will do whatever you say.
Okay.
So I just said this thing. And he said, okay, he agreed. And then I paid fees. And you will not believe, I paid fees in SOE Global. So I am a student of this institute, which I took over in 2019. So I joined here as a student first.
Okay.
So in 2019, I paid some...
You joined as a student here and you took over the...
Yes.
I think it's looking like some movie scene where the hero comes in and he first gets in the whole kingdom like a normal person, and he works there and he takes over the whole overall kingdom. And the KGF, no, that guy gets inside as a labor and then he takes over the whole empire. And I mean, I'm not trying to resonate cinema scenes here, but you joined as a student and you took over as a founder.
My life was nevertheless like a cinema.
Okay.
And everywhere I found that actually...
I think today's social media, students and a lot of people have to hear stories like this, because a person has joined an institute as a student and took over as a founder, and this is nevertheless co-founder. You joined as a student and took over as a co-founder, and it's not something less than how a hype is given in a cinematic background, or like in a movie how the hero is given a hype. So the same way we see a very inspirational aspect here. So I think people have to hear stories like this, and yeah, I think it is going to be a treat for anybody who is getting into entrepreneurship or any kind of courses like this, because getting inside a coaching center as a student and taking it over as a co-founder, as a company, is not something a regular story. Because going inside a company as an employee and taking it over are all totally a different scenario. But you quit already 3. You quit CA, you quit IAS, and you're about to quit BCom. We are in the middle of a story. And you joined the ACCA and you took passion in this, and you say...
I know, there is some story behind this also.
Okay.
That, as I said, I didn't do much research, and I joined ACCA, and the first day of my class in ACCA, the teacher is speaking in millions and billions, and I didn't even knew how many zeros are there in millions. I had no clarity at all.
Okay.
And I was sitting with a bunch of people who are so highly intellectual. My confidence really gone down there.
Okay.
People are so smart, so intelligent. They were answering to every question being asked. And I was not at all clear with what is the topic the teacher is teaching.
So again traumatized.
Okay. But now I didn't have any option.
Okay.
If I quit this, then done. I have to shut down all my goal, my aspiration. I just have to do whatever my dad says.
Okay.
And a typical Marwadi family, we understand that if you are not successful anywhere, you have to join the family business.
Okay.
And you have to continue to be a slave in that business.
And
So this is
you
something.
convinced your dad that if you're not doing this, you will come back to the
Yes.
business and
Yes.
you will continue the family business.
Yes.
So you were very afraid to go back. So that is the one.
I was dead against my family business.
Okay.
I mean, see, I wanted to be a boy who lives in his own terms.
Okay.
Who spends and don't keep an account of that. Who likes to travel but without any limitation that, oh, I can travel only on weekends.
Okay.
Or I can travel only on, let's say, holidays like Christmas and New Year. No. Jab man kiya, whenever I feel like traveling, I should be able to travel and nobody should stop
I
me.
get it.
So having such aspiration in your life and joining family business is two different things and two completely opposite. Because in family business, for every single thing, you have to take a permission. Even if you want to go out, let's say even for a honeymoon, you should say, okay, I want to go in this particular period. And your parents may say that, no, this is a busy season for our family business. You cannot go at this time. You better plan some other days.
And the spouse be very angry with this, and it's a very big problem.
Yes. So I really wanted to live life in my own terms. So I was very clear with it. And I was so sure, dead sure, that if I join family business, I have to shut down all my goals and aspirations.
Okay.
And I have to just continue to do that. Whatever my dad or whatever my elders, or it's a joint family business. It's not just my dad.
Okay.
There are uncles and relatives also in part of that business. So even if my dad wants to give me some freedom, he will not be able to give because he is not the sole person to decide. It's a family business.
So basically, you convinced your dad that for the purpose of convincing, you told him that you will return to the business if you are not able to
Yes.
make this year, and if you're taking another attempt, it will be the only attempt will be to get back to the business. So you were very haunted to go there. That is one of the main reasons you put all your soul inside ACCA.
Actually, that happened only post this 2015 cyclone.
Okay.
So you know what happened in Chennai? There was a huge flood in the year 2015,
Okay.
and almost operations and were shut for 1 month.
Okay.
I remember colleges were not functioning, schools and offices, corporates, everything was shut for 1 month. There was no proper electricity. The roads were filled with water. There was a lot of water lodging every area. A lot of people lost their homes and all this thing. So that is the time what happened is ki I had some time for introspection.
Okay.
See, so far I was really busy traveling to different places, colleges, meeting new friends, meeting old friends. So I was always occupied with so many people. I didn't spend
So a
enough
very
time.
extroverted person.
Yes.
You're
yes,
very extroverted.
Yes. So I didn't spend enough of time with myself.
With yourself.
And what happened is ki I was just trying to be like what others are expecting from me.
Okay.
And I had a lot of friends, almost 200, 300 friends. I remember one of my college friend, he said me that, yaar, you have friends everywhere we go. Whether it is a chat house or whether it is a restaurant, so many people are recognizing you. So many people come and talk to you. You know everyone. You're quite popular. So I used to feel proud of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So everybody knows me. I'm like a people's friend and all
People's
this
guy.
thing. Yeah, people. That was the taboo I was carrying in my mind.
So
But-
kind of a risk.
Yeah.
Among
But this 1 month, first day I spent, in this 1 month, the first day I spent watching movies, playing Ludo and all this thing. But the second day I started getting bored of this.
Okay.
And then that is the time I saw ACCA books, which were lying with me for last 3 months. I thought, let me just look at this book and understand what it is. So I lost all the connections, no touch with the friends, and no touch basically with any external contact. So
Complete disconnection.
Yeah, disturbance was not really there. Everybody were busy in their own lifestyle. So then that is the time I touched this book. I started reading page after page, page after page. Though it was very difficult for me to initially grasp certain concepts. So I started watching different YouTube videos that really helped me a lot. And that 1 month, the preparation what I did was, I had an amazing time in that 1 month. Though reading books, listening to the lectures, trying to understand the concept, but I loved that particular part of my life. And then I decided that I'm going to write exam. Though syllabus didn't got over for that paper. In SOE Global, the paper was still in the middle of completion. There were some concepts left for the teacher to cover. But then I somehow, I was very much stubborn that I really want to write exam. And though at that moment, the CEO of SOE Global, he didn't allow me to write exam. Because the syllabus was not over, and if I fail, what will happen is it is a black mark for the institute also. So then he was like insisting me, no, let the teacher first complete the syllabus and then you can take your exams. I was like, no, I am very much clear that I'm going to appear for exam. That is tomorrow. You allow me. He was not really agreeing to it. I called the director. Somehow, luckily, I was also knowing the director of that company. So I called him.
Benefits of being a people's guy.
Yes. So I called him and I said, look, boss, I want to write exam. Your CEO is not allowing me. Please, it's my request. I am going to take a risk. It's all on me. So better allow me to write exam. And he said, okay, fine. And he spoke to the CEO and I got it things done. When I entered the exam hall, 2 hours exams, actually it's a 2 hours exams and it's a knowledge level exam, so you get immediate result. Okay, you are not required to wait for 1 month for the results. So 2 hours of exams and half an hour. Within half an hour, I was restless. I felt like I will not be able to clear this paper. It was so tricky. I mean, out of box, my mind stopped working. I couldn't really focus at all in that exams. My mind started throwing so many pros and cons about what is going to happen in the future now. I'm going to join my dad's business. All these thought process started erupting in my mind.
Haunting memories.
Yeah, haunting memories. I'm going to join my dad's business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be like a slave. I'm going to do this. So I was like, I became restless at that time and I told the invigilator that I want to quit. I want to go out. But somehow he didn't allow me. He said, no, you have to sit here for next 2 hours. Even if you don't want to write, it's okay. You can stare at the screen, no problem. But you need to sit for 2 hours. You know, Bharat, at that time, I was hopeless. I had no clarity. What am I going to do in life? I felt I'm a failure and I'm fit for nothing. All my dreams, which was always there in my mind, I felt these were now going apart. And I will never be able to see myself living that such kind of life. But somehow here the spirituality aspects begin, where in that half an hour, now before I speak further on the spirituality, in that half an hour, I was restless. I was not able to read the question properly. I was just randomly picking certain options. For some question, I said A, B, D, C. It was a choose the correct answers. No? So multiple choice questions. So I was just clicking certain options. And then after having all these traumatized ideas and all this thing, I just relaxed and I prayed to Lord. I said, God, I have really put 1 month of efforts in this. I was sincerely trying my level best. I was not duplicitous, or I was not a guy who enjoyed and then expect the result also should be good. I really sincerely worked hard. And if you really think I deserve this success, please help me. So I just prayed to him, and instantly after prayers, my mind was a little relaxed. I was a little calm. Then I started looking at the question, read that question, tried to remember the concept, and I was trying to answer it. And you know what, Bharat? Interestingly, the answers which I got was as same as what I selected earlier.
Oh my God. Were they all right?
Yes.
Oh.
They were all right.
I'm genuinely shocked here. So it was not, it happened on its own.
Yes.
It was not intentional.
It was not intentional.
Oh, it will, the whatever questions you selected randomly were right.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, right, only God knows. But when my mind was relaxed, And at that time, when I was solving question with complete attention, with remembering the concept, going along with the concept, and when I was coming to the final answer, the conclusion, the answer was the same which I selected in the screen.
Oh, so the things you randomly selected were right at the end. Oh,
Well, right, I think so. So then
Goodness.
what happened?
Nice.
This happened not for just one question or two questions, almost 7-8 questions or
was
10
this
questions.
the professional paper you got the rank?
Sorry? No. That is a different paper.
Okay.
So I was shocked. Oh, I selected this answer already. Am I right in my calculation? Everything I found, yes, it's
Okay.
right. So somehow universe had this own.
Hearing the story, I'm shocked. I'm like shocked in the sense it's so wholesome. Like you, of course, I too believe in spirituality. So we see a live example of how this works, no universe. And I was genuinely shocked. How was your mental state at that point?
See, I was just focusing
Blown
on.
away.
I want to finish this paper.
Okay.
I had very less time, almost half an hour. I wasted time, 20 minutes in thinking and getting panic attacks. I wasted that. I was left with just 1 hour, 20 minutes, and I had so many questions to solve.
Okay.
So I was very quick enough. I was not really thinking. But yes, when I was seeing the screen, I have already given the answer, the same answer. I was doubting myself. Am I really doing the correct calculation? So I did a cross check, but I was still not convinced to change the answer. I was continuing with the same answer which I selected
Okay.
initially. So then this happened. Last 5 seconds of my exam screen, and I was so nervous. I was just closing my eyes, and I told my examiner, I'm not going to see the results. You better have a look and you let me know whatever it is.
Okay.
And 4, 3, 2, 1, and he screamed, "Hey, you cleared!" I was like, how is that possible?
They announced there itself?
Yes. The result, I said you right, it's an on-demand exams.
Oh.
You get results immediately. ACCA has its beauty. In the first 4 papers, you can get immediate results.
Okay.
And he exclaimed saying that you have cleared. And it was such a shock for me.
Oh, he himself was shocked.
Yes,
How did this guy shock?
Yes.
Because I think she's the guardian angel. She let you sit inside the exam hall and
Yes.
everything.
Actually, it's all God's arrangement.
Okay.
If he wants, he arranges things. He makes sure such right people come in your life and get things done.
Okay. Let me give you a very, very genuine, honest statement. I'm not telling this because we are doing a podcast here now. I've listened to so many stories, and it has been nearly 2 podcasts I've did before this. So I think this will be one of the most wholesome moments of stories. I mean, wholesome moments at the same time, wholesome stories I have ever heard. Because you just went inside an exam hall. You were so panicked. You wanted to get out. And someone forced you to sit inside because it's an examination rule. And out of nowhere, you choose random answers.
And you know what? There was no such examination rule. If examiner wished, he could have sent me out.
Yeah, everything
He didn't send
happened,
me.
no? So the person, she was like a guardian angel, let you sit inside and you choose random answers. They were all right. And later you checked and you cleared the exam. It all looks like it looks like a stage drama which happened. And it's an actual stage drama which happened in your life.
That day, I was actually in the cloud 9.
Okay.
That day, for the first time, I realized that I am closer to my goal.
Okay.
I am closer to my dream, the dream life. I am very closer to it. It's just that 13 papers in ACCA, 1 is now down. 12 more left and I'm closer to my goal.
Okay.
So that is the time I was actually in the cloud 9. My confidence level was just went up and up. Okay. And then there were never so-called self-doubting phase in my life.
So this is the point when the confident metric got a reverse.
Yes, it's completely.
Okay, you gave a reverse card to the confidence metric. After this, I'm going to be the guy who's going to bully you.
Yes, so that is how my journey started in this ACCA, and then my parents also gained confidence that yes, this guy has now started working on his dream and he is really sincere about it. My family also got confidence. Now, interesting part.
Okay.
Except for my father and mother. See, I live in a joint family of 22 people in my house.
Okay.
Except my father and mother, none of them knew what I was doing.
Oh.
till the time I became a global rank
Because they
holder.
already told you're doing CA,
Yeah,
IAS, so many things. So
And this time my parents were not confident
Okay.
to tell to the relatives that he is doing some new course now.
Okay, it has
My
been-
parents thought he may quit again. So they never spoke about it to the relatives. And
I think that is better, no?
yeah, that is better to some extent, yes. And the time when I became a global rank holder, when a lot of news channels, they came and they asked me, they requested me to give an interview. That is the time thousands of people were calling my parents asking, what course did he do?
Okay.
What is he doing?
Now this time they don't have to give a propaganda. The propaganda already happened.
Yes.
Heroic moment. Okay.
So it was an amazing moment. Yes. And then, yes, everything finished. Somehow these 13 papers I completed in 3 years of time.
Okay.
Now, there is an interesting story which I always resonate with this. And there is a beautiful life lesson which I would like to give on this is. I have met many students telling me that I'm coming from a middle class family. I'm coming from a state board. I'm not from a CBSE background. I'm not a CBSE background student, or I'm not coming from IGSE background. I'm just normal matriculation and I'm from a very normal school. And will I be able to clear this? I'm an average student. Will I be able to clear this? So, to those students, I would strongly say that my life itself is a evidence toward it. See, as I said, till 8th, I was a red rank holder.
Okay.
My report card was always filled with
As
the
I
red
said
ranks.
in the starting, from red ink in the report
Yes.
card.
Correct. And I will also share you one instance. When I was in college,
Okay.
in DG Vaishnav College, I was sitting with my two intellectual and most intelligent people sitting next to me. And there was a teacher who was trying to copy the question from the guide. So something she was writing, and these two brilliant students, before the teacher could complete, they gave the answer also.
We have so many people like this, and they traumatize our brain.
Yes. I was like, what the hell is this? And I asked my friend, did teacher cover this previously? They were like, no, this all we studied in school itself. I was like, school? What did I do then in the school? Is that such topic exist in the school? I was doubting. Okay, Baba, where did I cover this? Where was I when I was in school? I didn't learn this concept. They are saying they are so confident. Teacher is teaching for the first time and they answered that question. And I was like, my goodness. So such instances happens in your life also.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that you are not fit for nothing.
I
mean,
get
you're
it.
not fit for nothing. I mean,
That's
it's not
a
at all
great
like that.
line.
Yes. You just have to believe in yourself. If you're having a strong faith in yourself and that Lord, then trust me, nothing in this world can stop you. And the biggest life lesson which I believe, which I firmly believe, is key. You don't really have to compare yourself with other students, other folks who are sharp, who are intelligent, who can grasp things immediately, who are really strong in their knowledge. Generally, we compare with them. Oh, such person can do this. I cannot do. I don't understand the concept. I'm not so clear. Even if the teacher teaches, I will not be able to understand in one go.
Okay.
It takes time for me to understand. Meanwhile, other students, they become expert in that. So then this professions or this qualification or success does not belong to me. It only belongs to them. No. It is not at all like that. I was an average student. But what I always emphasized upon is hard work.
Okay.
I didn't depend on my intelligence. I didn't depend upon my interpersonal skill set. I didn't depend upon my foundational knowledge which I was carrying with me. No. I was purely dependent upon hard work. Okay, in order to clear this paper, I have to put hard work. Now, whatever is required, I have to get this thing done. Whether it's watching thousands of videos, reading hundreds of books to understand that concept. See, even single small concepts which were so easy for people to understand even in the 11th and 12th. Such concept I used to hear in YouTube, some lectures at least from 4 to 5 different people. Just that I can understand this
I think
concept.
so many people are doing this nowadays, no? Like they don't attend the whole semester and they complete their whole portions. They complete their whole process of completing the study in the way of hearing to the lectures in YouTube.
Yes,
So
from different people, so that
Yeah.
I can get different perspective
does
and I
this
can
have
understand
any
this
benefit
concept.
personally? Because like more than the professor teaching in the class, is it like they are concentrated towards one single person? They are having a mobile in hand. They are not having friends around, so they are isolating themselves, listening to the lecture, and then learning the concepts, and then applying it the next day in the exam. Is it healthy, or like how do you take it? Because most of the students are completing and are passing their semesters like this today. As I'm in college now.
See, I in my journey of 13 papers in ACCA, few papers I followed this approach,
Okay.
but it didn't last long.
Okay.
In near future, I realized that I need a strong tutor who can really make my subject easy,
Okay.
who can make my work really easy. So that definitely is a different story. So I would definitely say that for any professional qualification, you have a major role in two things. I mean, there are two major roles in life. One, you should have the right tutor. He generally makes half of your work done. And then the next thing is your efforts. Hard work is really very important. Hard work means consistency. Every single day you are putting efforts for an ultimate success. If you are, it's not about 2 days you are pursuing something, or 2 days you are working hard, third day you are relaxing like it is a Sunday. When you are in a mission, or when you are in a journey to reach your goal, then there is no Sunday or Monday. All the 7 days are equal. That mentality should come.
I get it. So you went on from quitting almost three different professions. I mean, three different careers, and you gave one last attempt at ACCA and become an inspiration for a lot of students taking ACCA after that. Why I'm mentioning this word, because after seeing someone from Tamil Nadu or Chennai getting the India level first rank and global level third rank, it actually gives so much confidence to people who are pursuing here, because ACCA was not a very known degree, or very not it is not a degree, it's a professional course.
Yes.
So ACCA was not a very known professional course at that time. I myself saw the video, and I said I was fascinated. Oh my god, I saw you're the guy. So like that kind of notion comes to us when we try to pursue some course. If we have a model, like most of us, when we have like already someone has did this, that gives a confidence to a lot of students that it is achievable. So I've been that kind of an inspiration on that area. So later you have did this, so rest is history after the completion. So I would love to come to the entrepreneurship part. So I think this part is more fascinating for me, because you entered as a student and you took over as a CEO, and so how did that happen?
Again, life hit me, and it didn't went as per my own way.
I have another question there. You took over as a CEO. Before that, as a ACCA student, you're a person who have got global third, and you could have got packages for lakhs and crores. Why did you leave a package of lakhs? Because when someone gets a package of multiple lakhs or crores, at least 1 crore or 2 crore, they would love to go for that package. So why do you want to leave such a heavy package at that time, where job was something more secure according to parents, according to society and everything? You left all that and you went for becoming the CEO of the place where you studied. So why did you take that option?
See, I was very clear in my goal, na. Ki I don't want to be dependent on anyone.
Okay.
I never wanted to work under someone and lead a life Monday to Friday job, and then life is not just about Saturday and Sunday. I wanted to live my life where there is no difference between Sunday and Monday.
Okay.
There should be no difference. That is the sort of life I was expecting. And of course, when you work in a corporate, you generally become a corporate slave. You work there for Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday is off, and wherever you want to travel, you need to take permission. You need to write emails seeking for permission for leaves.
There was something you wanted to avoid from a very young age.
Yes, very young age. So I was so clear in that. So that is not possible when you work in a
Was
corporate.
this the primary reason to avoid the big packages and go for entrepreneurship?
Yes, one of the primary reason was that I always wanted to be independent.
Okay.
And coming again back to this, I'm coming from a Marwadi family. So in every blood, I mean, in every Marwadi's blood, you will see that business.
Of course.
Business, उसको in Hindi we say talab.
Okay.
Business करने की talab we have. So we don't really settle for small things.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't mean that I am completely against the corporate culture or corporate world. Of course, that is something, a very different experience. And there are so many successful people also working in corporate for last 30, 40 years. Okay. So huge respect for them. I don't really say that is not a good place or something like that. See, every human has their own separate journey in life.
It was not destined and it was not your cup of tea.
Yes.
So I think you don't have to justify that because it's your own decision which you took, that it will not, that routine will not suit you. For someone, our routine will not suit. So
Yes.
that is totally, you don't have, I get it. What is the perspective you were trying to explain? But I think people can understand here.
Yes. So yeah, that is one thing. So your question about what was the last question?
Why do you want to go directly to entrepreneurship? Because somebody would like to take a job or take some money, save the money, and then go for entrepreneurship or something. You directly jumped in because you took 3 times risk. I think that is something which is used to you because you quit 3 professions and you went on directly to the last profession and you gave a headshot and it was a huge hit. So now with the overall confidence, I think that confidence is all enough to take another big
the confidence is all enough. And see, I always believe in this thing that you may have certain plans.
Okay.
Not necessary that all your plans will work.
Okay.
At certain times, if the plan is not working, then you should have firm faith that it is working as per God's wish.
Okay.
So if this journey, if I am taking certain route, if my life is taking certain route which is not as per my plan, then have firm belief and have full confidence that God is taking care of that journey. So I was confident. Plus, I was very clear with my goal.
Okay.
I was very clear with my standard of living, with the way I want to live my life. It's not like Monday, Sunday, there should not be any difference.
I get it. But how did this happen? How did you take over as a founder?
So yes, the founder of SOE Global, he called me one fine day after completing my ACCA course. He was sure that I was about to complete ACCA in near future. And he already saw some spark in me. He had seen that spark and he was very much confident about me. And he was also very much sure about my goals and all this thing. So I used to share him about my goals, that I want to start an institute and that is my plan. So I had this starting of an institute from the very long time. So I wanted to enter into educational sector because this is the place where I can inspire a lot of young youths. I can talk to them. I can share my experiences because most of the youngsters are facing similar kind of issues, similar kind of stuff in their life also. So I wanted to be an mentor who can guide them and who can take them through from this journey.
So first you joined as a mentor at SOE Global.
No, directly as a co-founder and CEO. So basically what happened is...
He was very inspired by your journey and he took you as a co-founder.
So somehow he saw some spark.
I think this is what places make us, no? Because when I was struggling to find clients, out of random, I think the work we put initially will pay off in so many different streams later, because I got introduced to a lot of high net worth individuals. They started giving me clients after I saturated at a point where I'm not able to get clients after this. So at the same time, when you have put in your work and having a great story has given you a great help to not have the struggle of initially going through all the struggles a co-founder needs to have. You already had a very big struggle before that, which paid off as a reward later. The person seeing your story got inspired and took you as a co-founder, and that's so amazing.
Yeah, I would say there is a slight change that it doesn't mean that we already had struggle, so you will not have struggle now.
No, you had struggle. I'm just saying it was a reward later. It was not. You had a lot of struggle before, so that you didn't have to struggle to the point.
No, you still have to struggle, but the thing is the perception changes.
Yeah. My point was not to say that you didn't have struggle in that point. My point was that it was the way to that space was clear for someone who starts in a very who starts then, and to aim that as a position, founder as a position, they have to do so many things under the way. But having a very clear story and being worth it. A very clear example is recently Ronaldo started a YouTube channel, and he gained nearly 10 million subscribers or something in fraction of few hours or something. Not few hours, fraction of few days. I'm not sure with the time. But Ronaldo opened a YouTube channel and he made records which YouTubers did for years. That doesn't mean that Ronaldo didn't have the struggle. He struggled so much. He has built some reputation which is giving him the reap benefit. I think that is what I see here the same. So I've gone through something and that is giving you a reward.
I would say, let's put it in this way, that in the past, yes, I have struggled. I have seen lots of ups and downs, from the self-doubt to self-confidence. So the journey been wonderful. That gave me the courage to always take the next step.
Okay.
See, students' problem is that they don't even take the first step. That is the biggest problem.
That's the problem.
Struggle, failure, success, that is all secondary. First, take the step.
Or just take the step.
Yes, just take the step. If you take the step, then rest is history.
Yeah.
You are not required to worry about the thing.
I totally agree with this, because so many people. When I thought about content creation, business is another different game. But talking more about content for the last, when I was in 12th, I was talking about this. But after posting the first video only, I understood how many things are there. Because when we keep analyzing, researching and everything, we don't understand how difficult it is when it comes to the practical game of executing it. So you took the shot and that is where you learnt it. So I think we will learn more by doing it rather than talking about it or learning theories about it, watching podcasts about it, so many things.
See, don't you think when I took a decision to start an interview, there were so many people that why are you jumping so fast?
Okay.
You better take some experience in corporate for 5-10 years. And then you come back and start an institute.
Yeah, that was my instinct also, because coming from that peer pressure, you would have also faced that societal pressure of why do you want to leave all that, and you could have taken a job with a very higher package, taken some secured amount of, like, you could have taken a couple of lakhs as a saving, and then you would have come inside business, but you directly jumped there.
Yes. So the directly jumping required some courage. That courage, definitely I got it from my previous life experience.
That was very clear, because when we were coming here, it was the storyline is mostly like your level of courage, your confidence and everything has been streamlined to a very, very top level graph, that it from a very low point it has come to a very high point until now, I guess. Yes. Because when you started, you were first giving a softer tone of how everything started, but later I could see a very amazing speaker. I think you are a great public speaker.
Thank you.
On the other hand, I think when you watch the podcast after this, I think you will get that idea, because sir, you were orating and you were giving me stories in a very nice way, and I love to jump to the next element. All these stories were so inspirational. You joined as a co-founder, and later the business, everything, and today it's one of the top rated institutes in Chennai. And you give me a short brief on this alone. How did you take off the business after that? After joining as a co-founder, how did you take off the business? Because even though it was a kind of almost a quite successful venture, I think after you took the...
No. There is again a story. See, my life has always been full of stories. And,
okay. What I observed is after you took it, I think there has been a good leap of
this venture,
growth.
SOE Global, was actually shut before I took over it.
Okay.
It was not in
Oh,
operation.
it was completely shut and you
Completely
took
shut.
over and changed everything.
Yes.
Now today they are in the top 3. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
It was not an well operating institute. It was not like that. It was completely shut. There were no employees, no students, no lectures.
Okay.
It was just an infrastructure there.
Okay.
And nothing was there. So when I took, that was the time where it all started. And of course, struggles were there. I mean, it's not that from the day one I understood, yes, this is how my business will go, and I took it from the day one and profit was coming from the day one. No, that was not the case. See, struggle was always there.
Okay.
Even when when I started this, when I took over this institute, struggles were there. Initially, I remember those days, me and my wife, of course, that time she was not my wife, she was my girlfriend at that time.
Okay.
So we both used to come to the office, and I remember there was one security person, I would say, or one person who was a housekeeper in that place. So he used to bring a cup of coffee in the morning and a cup of tea in the evening. Just sipping that coffee, whole day will go and we'll go back. And whole day we used to discuss, me and my girlfriend, we used to discuss about how are we going to start this institute now.
Okay.
Now we don't have any knowledge.
And you with your, as you came to the point, I am trying to inculcate that because a lot of entrepreneurs I've seen recently didn't mostly majority don't have a great personal life, but you joined hands with your wife to improve the business. So how was that actually? She was an emotional support, because people like us don't want to be vulnerable in front of anyone, because we see that as a sign of weakness. Because I don't want to term it as men or women, but in mostly men I have seen in my life, they don't want to be vulnerable in front of even their mother. Most of the people I have seen, because they don't want to cry, they don't want to do that, because they think that it may become so weak in front of people. But for the women or the love of their life, or when they go for a girlfriend, I think the most thing, more than the whatever physical, whatever intimacy, more than everything, they crave for that vulnerability to cry to that person. They crave for that vulnerability of putting themselves vulnerable in that in front of that person, of crying to them, having a good time with them, and telling all their dark sides, and wanting to travel with them in their professional as well as personal life. So in your case, you are traveling in your professional life also. I think she and yourself were the only people who started after it was shut down. You were the two people.
Yes.
Only two employees heading ahead for the greater march.
Yes. So yes, of course. Both of us, we actually met in school, and we were friends. See, the thing is, what is so different when it comes to a relationship is not just all about okay, I think I have to cut this down. I don't want to talk
Sure.
go deeper in my personal life.
Sure.
Maybe I'll just talk something else. Okay, coming back to the story.
Yeah. So
We'll go back.
only.
But your question was about the how I take this relationship. Yeah.
My question was you took your wife also in the professional circle.
See,
And most people don't want to do
my
that.
wife was not from this ACCA background.
Okay.
She was not from ACCA, or she was a photographer actually.
Okay.
So she did Viscom from Women Christian College, and the only thing which I liked in her, I will say the best part of her is that she also had some entrepreneurship skill.
Okay.
So she used to think about as an entrepreneur, and although a small scale, but she was doing that. Right in the college, she was trying to earn on her own, and she was trying to purchase certain equipments, camera equipments on her own.
She's also that independent.
Yes. So that vibes were already matching. Okay. And I remember
She was your girlfriend then?
Yes, at that time she was my girlfriend. So at that time we both were just thinking a whole day about how are we going to start.
Then as you were doing business, you started business together, where your houses know that you were in a relationship?
To some extent, yes. Not really much.
Okay.
But yes, to some extent they were knowing that I'm close to this girl and all this thing.
Your family was cool 5 years back. Wow.
So actually, yes. Starting in SOE Global was also not an easy task.
Okay.
it really required a lot of courage, where you didn't had any contacts, no mentor, or no one to guide you how to run a business. With zero contacts, you don't know anyone in the colleges, you don't know anyone in the school. So it was quite difficult initially. I had no idea from where I'm going to bring students, from where I'm going to bring the lectures, the faculties. I had no idea. So I decided, okay, initially I will become the counselor. I will become the person who will teach. I'll be the one who will conduct classes. I'll be the one who will conduct exams. So it's a one-man show which I'm going to do. So I was thinking in that angle. And now the question was, from where are we going to get students from? I tried different marketing styles, techniques, but few things worked, few things didn't work.
Because at that time you could not hire a marketing agency or something. It was very costly.
It was costly at that time. Yeah. And I just took around 2 lakh rupees from my dad to start this business.
Okay.
So beyond this, I don't want to put much pressure on my parents also, because they have already spent a lot, almost lakhs and lakhs of money, because I did few papers from Singapore also. So in Singapore, everything is really very costly. So I have already spent a lot. So I didn't want
he was
my
supporting
father.
till your venture. No?
Yes, till my venture. So
He's a hero.
Yes. So 2 lakh, after collecting the 2 lakh from him, and I decided that from now onwards, I'm not going to take even a single penny from him. From now on, I have to live my life by doing some arrangement. With this 2 lakh, I want to make it bigger, and I want to survive.
And you were not
in that
also
way.
getting any regular expenses from your home.
Not getting. I was not really taking it.
Okay.
They were ready to sponsor, they were ready to give me money for whatever is required. But I have decided, just like in ACCA.
Because that was the aim.
Yes,
you don't
just
want to
like
be
in
dependent.
ACCA, I decided that I'll give it in one shot. If I don't clear, I'll join my dad's business.
Okay.
Similarly, in business also, I took a call.
Okay.
That this 2 lakh, what I'm getting in from my dad, in future, I will never ask again from my dad.
Okay.
Because I don't want him to be in the pressure.
I get it.
So whatever he has done is done. His part is now done. I cannot continuously be dependent on him.
Because that was your whole idea. It was
Yes.
the biggest ambition you ever had was I have to be independent all the time.
Yes. So I decided, okay, 2 lakhs initially it was required. Either from someone else I could borrow, or I could borrow from my dad. So I borrowed from my dad, because he was the one who had believed in my dream and all this thing. Okay. So then with this we started. It wasn't an easy journey. 2 years, 3 years passed, and things were not really growing.
Okay.
Things were not really to a mark where I was thinking that this may go. So then what happened is there was the time, it was really hard time. Okay. And that time I started having a lot of mixed mind, a lot of confusion, that should I quit? Should I shut down the institute? Should I join somewhere in a corporate? Should I take up corporate role where I will have consistent income? Because here I'm not getting income. Whatever I'm getting, I'm spending it in the business, and nothing is really working out.
I think it's the part and parcel, because it took me nearly 9 months to take my first profit, I guess.
Okay. You are lucky enough to get profit in 9 months. For me, it took 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So 3 years with that, with 3 years sustaining without profit and maintaining that same confidence, the level of confidence.
And you were doing all your expenses on your own?
Yes. Okay. All my expenses on my own. So then that is the time where I consulted my Shiksha Guru. So okay. I also, from the time when I started this institute, I also happened to connect with spirituality. I also happened to connect with ISKCON. So I happened to meet my Shiksha Guru in ISKCON, and of course my spirituality life has a different story in it. So yes, 3 years it's been, and I was completely shattered. I was not sure whether to continue in this journey. And when I asked Dad, nothing is working in this, what should I do? He said, if nothing is working, you can close and you can come in my business again.
Okay.
And I was
that
like,
was one of the most haunting things I could ever hear after doing all this.
Yes. So it was quite surprising, and
okay.
I happened also, I happened to show some astrologicals and all this thing. And even that person gave me a very bad feedback. He said, oh, you are not meant to be in business. you should go in corporate and you should not stay in India, you should go abroad. That is where you will flourish. Here you won't flourish, and all this thing.
Nonsense.
Not nonsense. Of course, these things are also true sometimes.
I mean, in the I'm not
Astrologicals are also true.
No, I'm not coining the term that the person what he said was, but in your life, all turned into.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So then what happened is ki, again, mixed mind. I had like crossroads. What should I choose? This or that? That is the time I approached my Siksha Guru. Okay. And you won't believe, I went there with some different expectations. See, ISKCON is an international society, and my Siksha Guru been in Dubai, they've been working there, and now they are settled in Chennai. So I went with an intention that I will tell them, see, nothing is working in this business. Can you help me getting a job abroad? That was my, and I told them, see, astrological chart also is saying like this, that Pandit is also saying this. What should I do? And what I was expecting from them was, okay, let me talk. Let me see in my contacts if someone can give you a job. I was like that. With that intention, I went to them. And when I went and when I spoke to them, in that 1 hour, whatever they spoke, it really changed my perspective. And that day, I decided that no matter what, I'm not going to quit this. I'm going to continue in this journey, and I will make this thing successful. That was again a turning point for me. When my Siksha Guru gave me, so what new, they didn't give me something the regular random motivational speakers give. They gave me something which is a beautiful blend of spirituality and material motivation. This was a beautiful blend of spirituality and a motivation which requires for our goal.
I think the whole podcast is a beautiful blend of spirituality and motivation.
That was the turning point again.
Okay.
From that point of time, trust me, business just went upwards. It never happened that the same thing continued in near future. 3 years, and opposed that, things changed drastically. Even I couldn't believe initially what is happening around me, but things were happening. I mean, see,
golden period.
Yes, the golden period got started at that time.
Okay.
And I believe in this dialogue a lot, which is coming from Om Shanti Om movie. Shah Rukh Khan, he spoke this. I may not remember the dialogue as it is, but I'll just try to say that. He says, किसी चीज़ को आप दिल से शिद्दत से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसे तुमसे मिलाने में लग जाती है. If you really need something very badly, if you're working hard for it to get that thing very badly, whole universe work for you to get this thing. Whole universe, the entire vibes work with you. So that is what success is meant for those who don't quit.
The universe falls in love with a stubborn heart.
Yes. So success means that you don't quit at all. Whatever life throws at you, you are trying to absorb everything and you're moving forward. That is success. So yes,
that was actually a wonderful line. Actually, when you were telling me the Siksha Gurus, it was more of it was spirituality blended with motivation, and it blew my mind when I connected the dots. Starting every space, you had a guardian angel who come in, and during the exam hall, you had the invigilator, and then at one point you have the Siksha Guru. I think all these forms. I'm also a very big believer of spirituality. So every time we face when we have a greater purpose in life, the small obstacles and the magic happening, we can put our complete hard work, we can put our complete sense of being inside it and complete dedication. But end of the day, for supporting the greater purpose we have, without having any, because tomorrow we can have fever, tomorrow we can have an accident, tomorrow we can die of some deadly disease. All this is not happening to people who are having a greater purpose only because they have something destined. And even the doctors, when they talk about people who are going to die, they tell like, this person has some purpose to live. He has the willpower to live, and they can't put it in a material manner. So I think when a person is having greater purpose and he has defined it in his head, I think the universe will protect him from things which is in his way, and at the same time it will also help him to have the magic done. So universe will make magics in his life and happen. I think there are so many wonderful magics which I in my personal life I have similar magics like this, but not at this extent. Maybe I crave to have something like this because it was so wholesome talking to you and you gave so many beautiful insights. I think people watching this, I think we have shoot contents for SOE Global and for you. At that time, the scripts you were talking, it was all different. But today, whatever you spoke was like all natural. You gave me so many nice insights which were like out of the box. You were giving me all. It was all on point. It was nothing unrequired, nothing which is out of the box. I mean, of course, it gave me a lot of out of box thinking. Nothing was like off topic. Everything was on point, and all these were concentrated towards how nice a person you are, how big a person you are, explaining. Like, I think it will be, I wish that SOE Global will be one of the top institutes when we have a podcast next. I think people will be requesting for a part 2 after this beautiful conversation we had on spirituality, on relationship, on how students should not give up after a point, and how purpose is very important, and how you gave me so many insights from starting to end. All the stories were so resonating, and hats off to your humor sense on so many things, because I think this is the podcast which I laugh so much because I didn't interrupt, because I was enjoying the way you were orating everything. And the first time you said that ACCA, one girl was telling me she was beautiful. I was just listening to it. I didn't have any idea. And later everything was not comedy. Later everything was so inspirational. It was all revolutionary. But initially inculcating that humor sense here and there and putting all together, it was all like a commercial movie listening. So it was all. I enjoyed listening to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed through the podcast. So any final liner on today for the students watching this, for the parents watching this, and aspirational entrepreneurs watching this, and aspirational students and entrepreneurs, and aspiring ACCA students, peculiarly ACCA students, CA students, all professional course students, and also people who wants to be a person like you, who wants to be upright and not dependent on their parents. So to all those people, what is your final quote and final line and final message for today?
I will say something which I have experienced it.
Okay.
So, 2 things. One is, don't really worry much about future. Don't really worry about kya hoga, what will happen, if this doesn't work, what will happen, this. Don't just live in present. And most important, have faith in that superpower. Have faith in that Lord. Because He can change scenario in any style. He can He can make your situation change drastically within a second. It really doesn't matter. Believe in magics.
Okay.
Just focus on the process. Focus on your hard work. Make sure you are consistent, and then believe in the magic of Supreme Lord. He is the best, I would say, and a story writer for each of us.
That was one of the greatest storylines I have ever heard all through the podcast. At the same time, you concluded it in a very beautiful way, and it was a honor having a podcast with you. It was enjoyable. First and foremost, people who are going to watch this podcast, is going to be enjoyable. It's going to be informative. It's going to be educational. It's going to be inspirational. So it has covered all the I's and it has covered all the motivational aspects. So it has been a honor, and it has been a wonderful and amazing podcast. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for taking your time and listening to this podcast. And I'm sure the entire idea of creating such podcast is to inspire those who have high dreams, but nobody is there to encourage them.
Yeah, that is what it is. I think students will get it.
Thank you.